Rolls-Royce increased sales by giving customers what they want. Shocking. Or is it? Welcome back, all you supercar lovers out there. If you've been reading the news recently, you've probably heard that Rolls-Royce released its sold vehicle count, and they sold 6,032 units in 2023. By a normal automaker standards, that may not seem like much, but for a car worth upwards of $500,000, that's a big deal. What was really crazy about these vehicles is effectively they were all unique in some way. And that's because Rolls-Royce is focusing on its bespoke vehicles, meaning you can add your personal design in a lot of ways. So was that the true reason that they sold so many cars this year? I think the truth is a little bit more predictable. Many supercar brands have seen amazing growth in the last few years. Adding in SUVs has been a game changer, but please, nobody tell Maserati that. They're not doing very good with Levant. Lambo, on the other hand, saw a 4.9 increase. Porsche posted a record year. Ferrari saw a small bump over their projections. In fact, everybody in the first quarter literally killed it. Some brands that are never profitable seem to be turning the corner. And that's really why this is a big deal, though, because the end of 2023 showed us a lot of slowdown. And we are asking, is the pipe dream over? That means that brands are going to have to think about new ideas to keep this gravy train going. Or do they? Think about it like this. A long time ago, all supercars you bought were custom built. That really started to change as dealerships started to become a thing. They weren't just people finding cars that you went, every major brand had a storefront. You look around, many of the dealerships you know now aren't as old as you may think. My local Ferrari dealership is started in 2006, and the current Lamborghini dealership opened its doors in 2009. I should know because that's when I started working there. Back then, people stopped wanting to build cars and just wanted to see what was on the showroom floor. What before would be walking a customer through the purchase process was pretty much, do you have X car? If you don't, end of conversation. At best, if you had a good relationship, people ask you to find a vehicle for them. But even then, it was very difficult to find a car that was going to fit their bill. And sometimes there just weren't enough of a certain model to be built that people even had access to it. What's crazy about this is that Bentley and Rolls have been custom forever. People didn't just show up to the dealership and buy whatever was available. They have the car built. This led to brands like Lamborghini adding ad persona in around 2008, the time about the Gallardo Superleggera came out. And they've been perfecting that ever since. Ferrari added the Atalier setup, and that's not all. Porsche, Maserati, I could go on, but everybody wanted something personalized. The reality is it's been pretty much a well-kept secret. So what changed? Dealer inventory, for one. What used to be a bunch of vehicles sitting on the lot waiting to be sold suddenly suffered from supply line problems, and the well dried up. That meant you got used to being on a waiting list. It also meant that customers used to reside in busy cities with awful parking, and they now reside in a countryside where they have less access to the plague. And I mean, why not build what you want instead of being stuck with something you don't? Marketing became simple. You call your customer on the phone and you say, you want to build a car? What is a fact, though, is Rolls-Royce showed us how it was done. Rolls pointed out their coach work programs by building distinct, unique vehicles. The Boat Tail and the Eclipses, for instance. These weren't unique models. They used the same body as any other car in their lineup. But it meant taking what they had and making it unique. Using unique veneers, specialty sound variations, twists on the starlight system. That may not seem like a big deal, but that's how you make 6,000 vehicles effectively one specialty car each. And with that comes value. The Boat Tail is a $28 million car, and that number isn't going to depreciate anytime soon. It's definitely not going to depreciate like your Maybach S600. You want this unique vehicle? Expect to pay even more if you can even find it. And I do say it, as in IT, because you're going to have to wait for somebody to actually sell one, because these vehicles were built for people and sold before they ever were showed to the public. And isn't that what you want? I mean, if you're spending that money, if you were an aftermarket car guy, if you could call up your favorite automaker and say, hey, can you make a design from the factory? Why wouldn't you take it? If you're spending that money, you want to be special, right? A guarantee that when you sell your car 4 or 5 years down the road, it's guaranteed to sell for more than what you paid for it. Nobody with any sense would turn down that offer. And Rolls-Royce, whether they know it or not, made that guarantee with a ton of customers just by calling them on the phone and saying, you want to build a car? I'm seeing it more and more too. The Urus, it's produced more than 20,000 examples, but also saw high depreciation, while the Parasangue wait list is getting longer by the day, and they are limiting to 15,000 models total. That's 3,000 units per year, so over a 5-year production run. You may think that's crazy, but now there's demand. There's perceived value beyond the price tag. Like you're getting in line for something special versus the Urus that you just drive up to a dealership and say, is that in stock? So the idea of waiting 3 to 6 months for your perfect vehicle, or maybe 2 years in the case of the Parasangue, effectively isn't that big a deal. And there's where your value is. To put it in comparison, the Boat Tail took 4 years to build. So is bespoke cars the reason for the increase? It's probably part of it. But the true good news is the buyer is finally realizing that if you can spend the money, you can truly have what you want. And I think that's a good lesson for everybody. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more supercar content, and check out these awesome apparel items that we have coming up. We have some new videos for you can watch, and we, as always, have some awesome supercar shorts where you can learn some information that you may have not known in the past. Thank you guys for checking us out, and as always, keep on rolling.